Hey there, Agile Adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, the big question of the week, the coaching question of the week. And this week we have with us Junaid Shaikh. Hey, Junaid, welcome back.
Hey, Vasco. Thank you.
So, Junaid, as Scrum Masters, we're constantly dealing with a mountain of complexity related to the team, the stakeholders, the organizations. All of them are changing constantly. And that means we're always facing new and evolving challenges. And the way we approach these challenges and the experiments we actually try define not only our impact in those teams and organizations, but also how we grow as professionals. So the question for you today is, in your current role or assignment, what is the single biggest challenge right now?
That's a very, very interesting question, Vasco. Thank you. I think as Scrum Masters, like you said, we're always facing new and evolving challenges. So there has never been a time where there has been a single biggest challenge. It has been always multiple challenges on multiple fronts. So some of them, like I previously touched on our previous days as well, was, some members of the team that, they don't have an open mindset. They just influence the team not in the right way, just manipulating the processes and still keep working traditional POs. I think that most of our listeners would really agree to this, that the prime anti-pattern or a lot of challenges the Scrum Masters face is from the mindset of the POs. If the product owner does not have the right agile mindset, it becomes really tough because it seeps through every layer. But I think, and I'm not touching a lot on the current team dynamics, but maybe it's a lot global. For example, the biggest challenge right now with my teams is the uncertainty around the world that's going on. The geopolitics and the amount of information each person is exposed every day through their gadgets. It's overwhelming. So whenever I meet people, everyone is stressed. Everyone is uncertain about what's going to happen in the next month or in the next 3 months. So in Agile, people say that, we need to be agile. We need to change the path as and when needed. Okay, it's easier said than done. But still, in larger organizations like, the ones that I've been working with, you need to definitely have a short-term plan, a long-term plan, and then work towards it. Of course, you can be agile, but you cannot change your plan overnight.
Yeah, especially because other teams and other parts of the organization depend on what you promised you would do.
Exactly. So then the biggest challenge that I am facing right now is the uncertainty. Even I have some data to back this up. The World Uncertainty Index report that came out in February, that said that it was the highest ever, the uncertainty in the world. Even more than what it was in COVID, even more in the 2008 crisis. So we are dealing in very, strange time. We are dealing with very strange times. So when you, as a Scrum Master, you go and connect with your teams, you need to have this. You need to be cognizant of this aspect that where your team members are coming from, where your PO is coming from. Lots of uncertainty. So Yeah, just to if I have to answer this question in one word, it's dealing with uncertainty. That's the biggest challenge right now for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's explore this, because this question is not only important from a social perspective, which it is. It's more important than ever. As you said, you just referred to the World Uncertainty Index, but it is also very pragmatically important in the work that we do with the teams.
Yes.
And it's when, with your introduction, it's easy to focus on the biggest source of uncertainty, right? Like economic situation, war, and all of that, which is, of course, the biggest source of uncertainty. But there's a lot of uncertainty that happens at multiple different layers within the organization. Like, for example, very simple, it's the uncertainty about a colleague you depend on showing up tomorrow for work because they might be sick. Right? Like, yeah. I don't know, at the time of this recording in March 2026, there's been a type A flu going around and left a lot of people at home in bed for 2 weeks. Now, imagine if your project depends on one of those people, then you're stuck. Right? Like, there's that level of uncertainty. If we work with suppliers, there's the level of uncertainty of being able to engage those suppliers and have them in the project in time when you need them. So we deal with a lot of uncertainty. And what this brings to my mind is the question, what in our processes is designed to accept and adapt to that uncertainty? So when you think about the current processes in the organization where you are, name for us, what are the aspects in the process that are designed to accept and handle uncertainty?
Again, a very closely and interesting insight. And you mentioned the word supplier. So that gets me going. You know, we are dealing with a lot of supply uncertainty. But to answer your question, Vasco, I think the agile principles and the Scrum framework, I think most of the teams work with Scrum, and there is where a Scrum Master comes in. I think the pattern of Scrum itself takes away a lot of uncertainty from you, if you look at it really closely. So what happens? We define the sprint, the planning, retrospective, dailies at a certain, at a certain frequency and a defined time. So we have a rhythm. We have a set flow of activities that already takes away a lot of uncertainty. Because as a team member, as a product owner, I know that, okay, tomorrow we have a sprint planning. So in this meeting, we have to do this set of activities. Then we have the daily, then we have so when you have a rhythm, when you have a known sequence of events in front of you, that takes away already a lot of uncertainty away from you, right? So I think people underestimate Scrum to a lot of extent. The simplicity of Scrum is really very much more than able enough to, handle the complexity of larger organizations or larger uncertainties.
You named something there that I really want to highlight, the rhythm. And you talked about that Scrum removes a lot of that uncertainty by establishing an accepted set of events that are coming in a specified and understood short-term timeline, right? And that rhythm is what we call internal predictability, right? It's predictability of how we do the work, not what work we do. There's still unpredictability there, but Scrum also offers a solution there, which is the package of the time box, right? Like, and the core element of Scrum is you accept uncertainty outside the sprint boundaries, and you try to remove as much as possible uncertainty inside the sprint boundaries, right? Like that would be internal versus external predictability or uncertainty. There are other aspects to that, but I wanted to highlight that because I think when you mentioned the rhythm, I think that's very important because it builds trust. It builds openness to other smaller micro changes that happen within that rhythm that are kind of scaffolded out towards the outside, right? Like, in other words, everybody can fail, but not everybody needs to know that you failed, right? And if we keep that time box as the place where we can fail, like micro failures. We don't need to expose all of our failures to the outside. And if we compare that with traditional project planning, where all the failures compound and they are all externally significant, right? Like, for example, the concept of a critical path, that every single task in the critical path has an impact and visibility outside the team, you obviously start to understand, okay, in Scrum, we accept uncertainty to a great extent, and we also isolate the external world from internal uncertainty by creating this boundary, the sprint, right?
Exactly.
Do you have some other ideas or concepts in mind from the current processes as you apply them that help to manage, contain the consequences of uncertainty?
Yeah, I think what I have been coaching my teams is, the circle of influence. What is your locus of control? If this is your circle of influence, please do everything that is possible to, influence that. But if there are certain things outside of your locus of control, and you see there, sorry, even if it's uncertain, it's accepted. You mentally prepare yourself that this is something that you cannot control, so you leave that. Control only what you have. The circle of influence and circle of control. And I always suggest my teams now to have some sort of a buffer. So I had a coaching with them where I proposed converting uncertainty to uncertainty by using the Eisenhower matrix. So we did what we did is we listed all the activities that we did in the last few sprints, and then we placed them on the Eisenhower matrix. Okay, what is really important for the team? What is it something that we can say no to? What we can delegate outside of the team? When we place that, I think we realize that we can easily delegate or take or deprioritize 20 to 25% of the work that we are doing today. So that gave us certainty on, okay, 75% of the work that we are doing, we can do it with 100% certainty in the next time. The velocity, for example, of each team. That is also the historical velocity that you gather. That is also a benchmark for you and your team to say, okay, historically we deliver these many stories. I mean, velocity is not the only thing, but this is one of the smaller things you can catch. As a team, we are certain that we deliver 50 story points of work every sprint. So let's not plan for 100. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great example. So appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing all of that with us, Junaid.
Thank you, Vasco.
All right. I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into no estimates, we got the pioneers of no estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. Agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with Agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.